Hey guys, wanted to put this video together. It's really last minute. I'm just going to throw this out. I'm trying to get a lot of questions answered. Since we told people about our upcoming National Surplus Funds ebook, the questions have been nonstop, even though I've asked people to please wait and watch the webinar. I know some of you guys can't make it. So I'm going to go over the basics, cover most of these questions. If you're going to be an attendee in the webinar, I ask that you please watch this first. And also download below this will be an overview in writing. Download that. I think it's going to be a PDF format. Please read through that and watch this. It'll answer the majority of your questions. I say that because on the webinar, if you ask us questions that have been answered through this, we're not going to address those. We're going to say, go to that download that we gave you. Go watch that video that we gave you. So it's extremely important that you watch this and watch it in its entirety. Also understand that when we launch this program, the webinar attendees, because we know they've had an opportunity to ask additional questions and they're serious, they're going to get the first shot at this program. And since we're doing a limited number of them, so that we conduct an audit and see how well it runs, and by that I mean how much people are working. We know it works. But because we're going to be doing that, we're going to limit the number of, so the webinar, it's going to be extremely important. Webinar attendees get first shot, and that's going to be attendees. Just because you register doesn't mean you're an attendee. GoToWebinar records if you showed up or not. Very important to understand that. Okay, first, the elephant in the room. How in the heck are we doing this, right? Well, first of all, any state that gives you, that you can get a list from, a county, get a list from the county, mortgage or tax overages, not just tax. And then you can go in and research the debt that was against the property. Mortgage loans, whether or not there was a deed transfer, equity lines, HELOCs, all that. Really easy to do. I'm going to give you multiple examples of that where you can do it online. If you can't do it in that particular county because they're going to charge $50 a month for access or whatever, which is rare, but if you can't, just go to the next one. Guys, there's 3,200 counties in the United States. So, and we're going to be able to go after probably at least 2,000 of those counties. So if you can access that online, you're good. The reason is TLO. We are so impressed with them. TLO or TLOXP allows us to check judgments against the individual. Okay? So because of that, and because they're extremely accurate, you can either check that or you can send in the file and we will check it. But let me go over this. First, the elephant in the room. How are we doing it? Obviously, before you had to go into courthouses to check judgments, we trust TLO. Now, just so you know, even if you TLO it or we TLO it and see that and we order everything and get it all set up, I'm still going to pull title as it stood at the time of the foreclosure from a paralegal in that county. So we're incurring more costs doing this. Obviously, it's a growth strategy on our part. Okay, what states? We are going to protect, and I am getting a lot of people asking this, we're going to protect the people that have state-specific programs. In other words, no, you cannot go into North Carolina, Tennessee, Florida, Ohio, Oregon, or Washington State. North Carolina, Tennessee, and Florida, we have specialty systems for those. Ohio, we're probably going to be offering one soon. Oregon and Washington, it's just because we'll work it if somebody's local, but we really want only stuff that's turned in that isn't, that where the person has gone into the local courthouse. We don't want the stuff that hasn't been researched outside of that. I will also tell you certain states are very difficult to get information. Kentucky's hit or miss. New York is hit or miss. So it's going to be easy, though. You can check to see, can I, and we'll show you how in the ebook, can I check mortgages and deed transfers online in this specific county? Okay, if the answer is yes, get a list from that county. We'll teach you how to get the list from that county. And then we will have an updated list that you can check. There'll be a password you use. You can go into your resources page and check to see what is already being worked so you can double check nobody else is working that file already. Save you a lot of time, guys. That's been key to us being successful here. Then you can go ahead and research it and turn it into us. First one in wins. And that's another reason why it's going to be really important, guys, to hop on quick, because the smart guys are going to look at this and go, I want to cherry pick. I want to get as many lists as possible and go after even higher dollar stuff. We'll take a minimum of 10 grand. Okay, the average when we do that is usually $25,000. Now think about if you're first out of the chute, all right, and you go after $50,000 deals only. Well, I mean, that's going to make a huge difference on what you can make. What are we going to pay, speaking of that? Well, if you go ahead and TLO it, which is going to run you $1 or $2 to check and see if there's judgments. We'll pay you 12% on the gross. 12% on the gross. If you're hitting just $50,000 deals, that's $6,000 a whack. That's a lot of money. If you do not TLO, you don't want to commit to the couple bucks per search before you turn it in. I get it. I have a feeling the guys that have been doing this for a while are going to do the 12%, obviously, because they're going to, my gosh, that's 1.5 times what you'll make without it. But anyway, 8% is what I pay you if you don't TLO. If you just check the mortgages, fill out our worksheet, and provide the information on there, which is all going to be online, we can work it. It's that simple. So if you can research mortgages and deed transfers and not one of the above states, which would be, let me take these out, which would be North Carolina, Tennessee, Florida, Ohio, Oregon, and Washington, boom, you can work it. There's going to be over 2,000 counties, guys, you can work. This is opening up. This is crazy the opportunity we're opening up, and it's because we trust TLO so much. Your job, again, you get the list. We'll teach you how. The list can cost anywhere from $5 to $20 in most cases. That's it, because you're paying for copies. We teach you who to ask, where to ask it, where to send off your request. If you can't get one from a county, go to the next. Double check. It's not on the list of files, of course. You do that real quick. You'll have full access to that. Everything will work. Research mortgages and deed transfers and fill out the worksheet and send that in to us. Boom, that's 8%. If you take it a step further and you also use TLO to check judgments, 12%. And then we do the rest, guys. We contact the people, put the deal together, send out the mobile notary, get the documents signed, hire the attorney, and retrieve the money and pay you 8 to 12% when we get the money in. Average time, 3 months. It depends on the state. If it's a very highly transient state, it's going to take a little longer to get to find the people because they're leaving. You got places like New York, it's a net loss. You don't know where the people went. Also, if it's very fresh, it's going to be a little more difficult to convert faster. Guys that have done this before know this because right after the foreclosure, these guys are in the wind. They're in mom and dad's basement. It takes us a little while. It takes them a while for them to show up on any skip tracing software. But still, it's a great conversion rate, anywhere from worst case 5% in highly transient states, 10% is the average on others. We will take it if it's due to the ex-owner, okay, you research, there's no other debt there, or a judgment holder. This is a big deal. Not a government, guys. Judgment can't be an IRS tax lien, can't be a state lien, a code enforcement lien from the county, a county, additional county lien, something like that. We're not going to work it, but and HOAs very rarely sell liens if there was an HOA lien in there too at the time. But if it's not, as long as it's not due to them, we're fine, or a mortgage holder. Can't be due to a mortgage holder. The banks won't work with us, so we're going to cut it off on all banks with this one. How many to sell? I'm going to start with 50. That's going to be the initial run. I don't know when I'll offer it again. We may eventually replace the book with this book. I don't know. If we do not, regardless of whether we do or not, the price is going to go up dramatically. It's going to be 50 from the chute. The reason is I've talked with enough people that I know there's people that can scale this, it can rock it out, and I don't care if I'm getting it from one person or 100. In fact, it benefits me because I'm making my money on the back end. It benefits me, understand, it benefits me for you to send it to me, and if I've got one guy that's going to send in 100 files a week, that's just as good to me as 10 guys sending in 10 if the guy sending in 100 knows what he's doing. So I'm going to limit it to see how many of these guys are sending in. Obviously, if the guys that get how this works are going to really go, oh, good Lord, I want to be first in because I'm going to be able to cherry pick. I can go through lists really quickly. I can cherry pick the $50,000 stuff first, then come back for the rest. The cost, past buyers of any of our programs, past buyers, guys, not people that downloaded some free information or whatever. Past buyers are going to be able to pick this up for $397. If you're a first-time buyer, it'll be $497, which is our normal cost for the surplus funds and estates program that you've got to go into the courthouse for. Then the price is going to dramatically increase. I have no idea. It could be $597. It could be $897. I have no idea what we're going to raise that to. I just know that at first it's going to be $397 for past buyers, and then it's going to be $497 for previous buyers. Now understand, we're going to give a link to attendees of the webinar, 414. you can go to our website, surplusfundsriches.com. You can click on surplus funds, FUNDS, riches.com. On the right side, there's a link to our Facebook page. There are posts all over that with how to go in and be a part of our webinar and sign up for the webinar tomorrow night, which is the 14th, Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Only the people that attend are going to get that. So just signing up for the webinar isn't going to get you anything. You have to show up, and after the webinar, we're going to send you a link. Now, you'll be able to use that link between, I'm not sure when we're going to launch this. It's either going to be the end of this month, say around the 30th, through the 7th of next month, so April 30th through the 7th. When we do launch it, we'll give all attendees first shot. If you attended, now if you registered and didn't show up, you're not going to get anything. But if you registered and showed up for a substantial amount of time, we will send you the link later that'll show you where to go, and we'll give you first shot at this program. If it sells out just with attendees, because we've got a lot of people signed up right now, guys. We've got 500 people signed up. If it sells up, or rather sells out with just giving it to the attendees and somebody isn't an attendee, they're not going to have a shot. I mean, it's that simple. We want to give people the opportunity to, just by showing up, have an opportunity to get this thing before anybody else can at a great introductory price. Again, webinar attendees get first crack between 4:30 and 5/7. In other words, April 30th and May 7th. Again, we're going to tell the attendees first. We pay, again, 8 to 12% depending on how you turn it into us. You do not have to do TLO. You're getting a list. You're double checking that it's not on our list of files we're already working. You're researching the mortgages and deed transfers. Easy to do, guys. You're filling out the worksheet, sending it in. You can send it in via fax or email. I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to be moving toward a non-fax situation, so you're going to have to figure that out. Of course, anybody that gets it prior to then is your grandfather did. I'm really excited about this, guys. I'm looking at doubling, even tripling our business over the next 12 to 18 months. So that gets me really excited. I have a new method for hiring and using attorneys, so that's going to be a big difference. Finally, I did get some questions. Oh my God, how's this going to impact hybrid users? It's not. It's not. In order for a hybrid user to have a claim, the bankruptcy court would have to have a claim. In order for the bankruptcy court to have a claim, there had to have been a ton of debt. Most usually, if the property was included in this, most usually mortgages. If there's mortgages, we're not taking them from these guys. So the opportunity of overlap is so low, I'm just not going to, you don't have to worry about it. I'm protecting the hybrid users because they don't need protection. All I'm saying is it's not going to be an overlap. As far as the guys that got state-specific programs, no overlap. So we're golden. Guys, I hope this helps. And I appreciate everybody that came and took a look at this video. It is worth your while to check it. Guys, I am really excited. This is an incredible blessing to be able to do this. We've got the manpower and the systems in place. We have phenomenal people, and I hope you join up. Thanks.